What's good, my TV besties, and welcome back to another recap. As you can see in the title, we're just going to be recapping this week's episode of Teen Mom. Next chapter, we're about the third episode in. Give yourself a little slack, girl. And it's definitely like everybody, all the moms like really need to give themselves some slack in this like episode. Like not even just Caitlyn, who that was coming from Tyler. And so going off, getting off first into them. But of course, like really quick, let me introduce myself. I'm Ashley. If you're new here, stick around for a bit. Check out some videos, see if you like it, girl. Hit that subscribe button if you do. And as always, I ask that you give this video a like if you have enjoyed it. 5 likes is what I just try to aim for. Appreciate that love. But y'all, now, Caitlyn, this week's episode. Caitlyn is, y'all, sometimes, like, I love being a woman, but it just, like, sucks being a woman sometimes because we get these random things that, like, happen, to us in our bodies, especially when it comes to, our reproductive organs, right? So Caitlyn has gotten like this type of cyst or whatnot that she has to like go into like surgery, to get, removed. And then like even like the worst of that is even like with the recovery time, she has to wear a catheter for like 10 days. Right, like super not sexy, like, so I like totally get it. But as well, like she's struggling, this is just yet another time where Tyler has to go and kind of like take the bulk of things and like be full on hands on and kind of like as well have to take care of her. And she was just trying to express to him that she doesn't like that feeling and how that makes her feel when he has to take all that on or whatnot. Because let's be honest, it's Tyler that has had to take on a lot more. But what I love about Tyler is like, one, Tyler's very blunt. So while some things can like just sound so harsh and like just so forward, like he's just straight to the point. And it can come out a little harsh or whatever or whatnot, but he, like totally means well. Like, girl, like give yourself some slack. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm your partner at the end of the day. This is what we do. If something was to happen to me, I would, I expect you to, basically like do the same thing as well. So like, it's cool. Like, do your thing. Like, I'm going to be here to hold down the fort, as always. This is what we do. And when you sign up for marriage, this is what you do. And not that even I should even be pointing out even like he's done it more, for her more than for him, like type of thing. Because who's counting? Nobody should be counting or whatnot. That's marriage, and both of them have trauma or whatever or whatnot. So at least commend them for trying to take those steps to get the help and do the things that they need or whatnot. So everything turned out. No, everything did not even end up turning out well. Like it's just like it's something like I knew. It's like it seems like sometimes Caitlyn can't really ever like catch a break. So I knew that somehow something was going to necessarily go wrong or something was just not going to go steady. I think after like that very first night of her being home, she ended up having to go back to the emergency room to like take care of the catheter. There was a situation with the catheter or something like that. Like, and even then, like, there were still issues, with that. It, basically, like, it was just like a whole, mess. But Tyler being Tyler, like she said, she has a great husband. And he's been, bearing it through and getting the things, like, done. Like, Tyler is A1, day one, like, for me. Like, he's always on it. And I know she's just like, what did I do to deserve him? Like, he's so good. Just so good. So good to me. So good to us. Like, I love them. So, let's see, y'all. Benny is turning 13. Like, these babies are, like, getting... Like, they're not even babies. I can't even, like, call them babies anymore. And, Macy is dealing with You know, it's going on a year actually in the next couple of days or whatever in that time frame for them, from when the shooting happened or whatnot. So while, you know, obviously, you know, she's steady done some work, you know, to work through this, it still affects her as far as like the sounds, you know. And Bentley wants to do like bowling, and so she's, you know, a bit concerned on how she's going to react to that. And you know, it seemed to like actually not even go as I think bad as possibly she thought, you know, that it was going to go. She managed through. And like Macy is like a real trooper, you know, to me. Like she's really like taking on like a lot. And then with even like, maybe this is just not even like, okay, I'm all right, y'all. I'm just not even gonna lie. Like, I'm curious to know what's going on with Ryan. Yeah, the visits have been talked about. Nothing with the grandparents. Like, I'm trying to think like what happened last time on OG with them, because I really cannot remember. So definitely like drop me some comments down below if like you can help like regain my memory right now on the spot, of course. But her and Cheyenne, though, you know, actually got, you know, tried to talked a little bit, you know, in regards to kind of like that PTSD. And while their circumstances, you know, Macy, of course, you know, wondered, you try to be there for each other, you know, like the best that you can, but their circumstances were like a bit different. Macy was in a setting where, you know, a shooting was happening, and Cheyenne was actually getting shot at, and it wasn't even just her. It was like her and her kids in the car where it was just, you know, Macy or whatever or whatnot. So, you know, definitely, you know, reaching out and trying to be there for each other. But I think, you know, what's not even, I don't even want to say it like that, because it's kind of just like, well, what really can they do for each other? And like they can find, you know, they've managed to find, you know, like some way to like, you know, just going through an experience like that, I feel like is something that they can relate to versus, you know, maybe, you know, the rest of the girls or whatever. So, you know, maybe that might have been helpful for Cheyenne, you know, maybe it wasn't. Like, and then speaking on Cheyenne, you know, they did you know, they keep going back and forth to court. Nothing's happening. And what happened? So I think the judge continued it, you know, yet again. So they decided, you know, to do this, you know, like the rage room, where you can just go and like go crazy, break stuff, whatever. I don't want to say go crazy, because I'm pretty sure you need to be mindful and remain safe. But even after that, y'all, like it was like, you know, what's his name? Zach, you know, asked, is it Zach? Yeah. Zach asked her, is it Zach, y'all? Like, am I getting his name like all wrong? I think it's Zach. But he asked her, like, you know, was she feeling better? And she was just like, no, like it was a temporary, you know, feeling. And I think the more drawn out, you know, it begins to be for her, you know, with this whole court thing, it's, you know, really just making it worse, because you kind of just want to, you know, let it die and just finally just put it to bed. And no, and it's kind of like selfish. It's kind of like makes you rethink like this whole legal system, because it's like, you're entitled, what is it, to a speedy process, you know, whatever. Isn't that like an amendment or something like that? And yet you have this situation happen to you, and yet nobody's taking into consideration the trauma that this is leaving behind, having to continue to go back and relive this and relive this and relive this kind of like over and over again. Like, that's just beyond crazy. So I can't even imagine. I can't even act like I can't. I can't even for her. So, and I think what was scary, you know, really like for her was the whole realizing that everybody was okay, like after the fact. And Ryder was not, you know, like responding, you know, to her when she kept trying to figure out, like, was she okay? You know, everybody else was okay. She realized everybody else was okay. But Ryder was not responding in that moment, like scared the, you know, mess out of her. And I think even when I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, like it scared her speechless, like, you know, maybe necessarily in a way. It's like, you know, what could have been going through her head, her little mind, like, you know, at that moment. Like, that's it's like, is she young enough that she might forget it, or is that something that, like, you know, it's going to carry on, that like, you know, she might need therapy. And I, you know, Corey, I think, you know, checking in with her, you know, just at, you know, letting her know that, hey, if, you know, there's anything you want to talk about, you know, you can, you know, tell me. And it's kind of like at that age, like, would she even know what to say to even process? But it's not even to underestimate, because kids are very, very smart, and in their own way have a way of letting out, you know, some information, you know, or whatnot. So I hearing about this, you know, really situation now, and seeing what Shiny and them are going through, like I just couldn't like imagine, like, but mama, like, give yourself some slack, girl. So our girl Amber, like, that's somebody else who just seems like she cannot catch a break. Like, James wanting to, not James, James is the baby. He's been missing on the show so long I can't remember like his name. James is dad, the baby's dad. Like, it's just something about him. And it, Amber does have her stuff, whatever, give her that, but it's something about her that just, I mean, not her, him that I just can't like get with, or I just don't trust him. And I feel like this moving like to California and taking the baby, and you know, like and what, according to Gary, wasn't all this money. Like, I don't like that guy, y'all. I don't like that guy. So he wants to take the baby. He wants full custody. He wants to, and you know, I think I can say, I think that I know that he did win custody. If I'm right, he did end up winning custody. I think we're just seeing them, you know, now just go through it, and just seeing her go through that. Like, I can, like, even Gary is like afraid of what that's going to look like for her if he is able to get that baby or whatever or whatnot. And Gary gets on my nerves sometimes. So, you know, with her having court, you know, or whatever, whatnot, in regards to the custody, you know, her lawyer, you know, basically said that she need, you know, told her get somebody who could like to speak, you know, on her behalf. And who better than Gary, who's consistently around her, and then around her with the kids, both James and Leah. So I definitely think it was perfect. I just hated how he like was just like, I mean, yeah, but I gotta tell them the truth. Like, bro, like this, I don't think she was asking you to sit up here and lie for her. Like, he just could just really irk my nerves sometimes, like really just grate my skin. Like, I just want to so like, bro, like, come on, like get it together. And you know, he might have had to, you know, and go and speak in regards to some good and some bad, you know, from what he was talking about in regards to what had happened, you know, with everything in the case, you know, with him testifying and everything. Like, that's obviously, I think, because I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like that he did win custody. And so we're probably going to see that play out in these here up next coming up episodes. Cause my gosh, like that's he's just shady to me. He's shady to me. He's shady for wanting to like make, you know, such a move like that. I feel like he plays on Amber's mental state. And yeah, that's just about probably like where I'm at with it. And I don't think anybody else can really convince me otherwise of this guy. Like he's definitely not cool peoples to me. Who we get? All right, y'all. So Brianna. So things got a little ugly, you know, with Brianna and Brittany and her mom. So, you know, if y'all caught, you know, if you've been, you know, faithful Teen Mom watchers or whatnot, and maybe even 16 and pregnant or whatnot, remember, you know, Brianna's dad left soon after her getting pregnant, right? Or even having the baby, one of the two. Either way, he dipped out of there really quick. And what happened? So fast forward, they had ended up doing like this show. Was it like they had did one of like the like the celebrity rehab, like they had them doing a show or whatever, one of them shows with like what's the doctor's name? I can't like remember her name or whatever. It's like the celebrity, one of those celebrity doctors, psychiatrist type things or whatever, whatnot. Either way, and some information came out in regards to like their dad. And I think that's not Brittany's dad. Is not Brittany and Brianna don't share the same dad. Brittany's dad is not Brianna's dad. Excuse me, Brianna's dad is not Brittany's dad. Brianna's dad is not, yeah, it's not Brittany's dad. And whatever. Previously she had tried to, you know, go and see him. He would not see her. And now she's not even reliving, she has decided to try to like reach out again and possibly go see him again. It got ugly because Roxanne started to talk about how she had just reached out to him or whatever at one point. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, like I don't want to make Roxanne out to be a liar, but her story was just like a little bit shaky or whatever or whatnot. Like she reached out to him and then basically telling him that, like, okay, which was consistent, reached out to him telling him that he needed to apologize to the girls or whatever or whatnot, right? So, but then when she talked about like talking to him, she was just like, well, I didn't talk to him because he hung up the phone when he realized that it was me. Like, and it also, then what also is the issue is the girls like, why are you just now bringing this up? Why is this not something that, you know, you should tell us? And Roxanne feels like, you know, it's not your business, you know, whatever. And I'm like, why wouldn't that be our business? Like at the same time, I think I can kind of understand where Roxanne is coming from, but it's kind of just like, if you reached out to him, why wouldn't that not be something that you would let them in on and tell them? And then you're giving like bits and pieces of like how this happened or what happened or whatever or whatnot. And, you know, Brittany, you know, was giving off strong feelings, you know, from this about, you know, loving her, but not liking her. But, you know, but I mean, at the end of it, it was kind of like, all right, so I'm trying to be home in a little bit. So it was kind of like, but all in the end of it, they, you know, she changed her mind and decided like not even to like go and see him. So Roxanne's yet still spilling out information and all this blah. And it's like, girl, what is even like going on? Like, where does all this information? Why don't you feel like you should divulge, you know, provide like what? It's not even like, she feels like at the end of the day that Roxanne feels like she's protecting them. The girls feel like you're not. And for me, I don't like really think so either. Like, they're grown and you just reaching out to them saying, oh, well, like, you're protecting them from what? You're not necessarily telling him that to stay away from the girls or not to, but you're just saying that he needs to apologize. So if Brianna is trying to reach out to him, then what's the problem? What's the issue? So that he can. So I mean, or I don't get it. At the same time, it's like, well, why would she just lie about something like this? Like, why would all of a sudden you just come and try to say, oh, well, I tried to do this or da da da. Like, I don't really think that would really matter to them or not if she had decided, if she didn't reach out to him, or just like, I don't know. It seems weird. It seems kind of funny. So, y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this week's episode. Give me a like if you enjoyed this video, and yeah, as always, I will catch y'all next time, and peace.